Well, last year I did 400 shows. I was contracted to do 400 shows of La Cage aux Folles. I made it through most of them. Um, it was interesting to get through it. You realize no matter what your mindset, no matter how smart you are, no matter all the years of training you got to have gas in the tank. And I would come off at the first act and I'd say, well, what am I going to take here? And there's all sorts of things they give you, like coffee and stuff like that. And I realized that was a big up, big down, lots of sugared things and drinks and all. And I thought, for the long haul to do that, you have to pace yourself like an athlete. So I started finding out the ingredients, things that are in Youth Infusion that make it work for me. And it may not be an automatic jump up, spin around, turn around. But what it is, it's a constant energy. So when you go to bed at night, you don't faint. You go into a nice little relaxed sleep. You wake up the next morning feeling great, and the day starts again. And I had to do that through 30 cities. And sometimes I didn't even know where I was. I would always keep a towel at the foot of the bed. I remember walking out of one hotel and saying, "Can you tell me how I get to the Detroit Athletic Club?" And the guy said, "Well, I'd start by going to Detroit." And I realized I was in Chicago. But I was doing a play, and I had to have constant energy, constant blood sugar even. And so I started really finding the ingredients that made it work for me. And certainly you have to eat. Food is very important, and the type of food you have. I don't really like taking vitamins. I would prefer not. But what we have in our soil in America today is just criminal. We have 75 minerals, but we're only getting 3 of them. So you have to look for it. You have to look for it in alternatives. All right, you can go and piecemeal, get isolates, and find out all of the health food stores and bring home $200 or $300 worth of stuff. And then you got to swallow it and hope that it all works together and synergistically. But why not just, do this? It's all powdered. It's all there, and all you have to do is drink it. Now, it's the first step. The other step, you better get a good night's rest. And you have to eat right. And you have to exercise. Those are the things that got me through. And also, I think it's the way you think. If you look at life and say, "Oh, what a problem I've got here," you'll get it. If you look at life and say, "What an opportunity I've got," you'll get it. And when you get things that support that give you the energy to do it, it's not too difficult to have gratitude and to be delighted to doing what you do. And for me, being delighted is to show up on stage, have people in the audience, and say, "Damn, he looks pretty good for his age." And I kind of thought that's the ultimate compliment, because I didn't get an Academy Award. I presented a lot of those over the years, and I thought to myself, well, maybe I should just get one for having been there. I mean, just get through it. They didn't give one to Cary Grant. I think he got a sort of Lifetime Achievement Award. But for me, having your lifestyle, whatever that may be, presenting it in pictures, taking other people's work, making your own, and try to be a comedian quite often. It's much harder than drama. People don't get that. Comedy is not something that you can just spin away. They have all those writers and things. My kind of comedy is off the wall. It's always about me. I never make fun of anyone. I couldn't do that. But I'm the joke of it, and I like that. But when you know that the most important thing is you got to show up, go out there on stage, you got to be delighted to be there, and you got to be very sensitive to that audience, because the audience will get up, and if you're lucky, they won't be coming towards you. They're going out. If you're really unlucky, they leave. And I think the moment for me that came across more than any other, I was in Orlando, and we were playing and doing La Cage aux Folles, and I was singing away a duet when all of a sudden the electronics all went. We got hit by lightning, and I just kept on singing. I didn't know what else to do. The whole group, all of the people on stage, they left, and I was still there singing. And the audience looked at me, and I looked at it, and I said, "I've always wanted to do a one-man show." And for the next 10 minutes, I just talked about life and fun and what I was doing. And I think to a person, after the show was over, they all came and said, what do you do? What do you do to keep in shape? What is it you do? Exercise, very important thing. If you don't exercise, you don't get the circulation. The way you think, equally important, because you can be in a negative thing thinking, oh God, what else is going to happen to me? And you shut down all your blood supply. But if you realize what the thoughts you put in your head and the food, the nutrients, but the problem is, where are those nutrients? We used to have them in our food. And now we're all faced with some giant calamity. I'm not going to point fingers. Everyone knows the companies that are involved in it. Yes, they've helped alternative health supplies around the world, but what are they doing to us? So the first step is my friend here. And I take it, and I enjoy it, and it sure is easy. All you have to do is just pick it up. If it's water, keep hydrated, because that's really important. And then you just mix this in, and before you know it, Youth Infusion.
Now, you can get the long.
When you get a little older and you realize that you don't want to fall off the perch, you kind of look at life different. And you say, well, what happened? You know, you start looking in the newspaper and they say some guy died and you got a number there. I passed that in my family. My brother died at 53. My father died at 56. And I'm 73 years old. And by the blessing of God and by having been able to take charge of my own health, I started realizing it's cancer on one end and heart disease on another. I think what has helped me most is that I know what works now. There's a lot of new stuff about heart. And my father died of heart disease. So I decided, what is it that will help your heart? And to me, heart-healthy things are like CoQ10. Now, CoQ10, the doctors all say CoQ10. Well, I've been taking CoQ10 for a while, and it's all in here. It's right there. And I didn't swallow a lot of pills, did I? Just another sip.